Hey everyone, it's Fun Around, and my name is Jordan. This video will be for Tuesday's slate of games. We have the Cavaliers Pacers game 2, and then we have a game 1 for the Timberwolves and the Warriors. As of right now, the Cavaliers have a few injuries. I will talk about them, and then the parlays have been doing well. I hit the 2 last video and then 1 the video before, so it's been 3 in a row on the parlays, just taking lines that I like and then knocking them down just a little bit to make them safer, and they've been hitting. So I have a parlay for the Timberwolves and the Warriors game, sticking with the home team. So you will see images that come up on the screen right here. That's from a data app called Outlier. There will be a link in the description for a 7-day free trial for Outlier. So the Cavaliers in the Pacers game. The Cavaliers are 9.5-point favorites. If you saw game 1, you would say, okay, that is a pretty good deal to give the points to the Pacers, and I agree with you. I don't see why you would not want to take those extra points. Kenny Atkinson just won Coach of the Year before we get to see him make real adjustments. So we will see what type of adjustments he makes here, and if he's able to make adjustments that work. But as for right now, yeah, that's points that spread's actually bigger than game 1 was, which was 8.5. Which we're learning that no team is invincible in this playoffs. I'm filming during the OKC game at halftime, but still. OKC was 9.5-point favorites. Celtics 9.5-point favorites. Celtics lost game 1. Cavaliers lost game 1. No team is invincible. There's a lot of really good teams left. But to talk about these injuries, that's why I don't have a pick for the Pacers Cavaliers game right now, because these injuries are pretty significant. So Garland and his toe injury, he was pretty adamant that he's going to play in game 2 no matter what. And they did say he's going to play. If it was a regular season, he'd probably be shut down for a couple of weeks. That's what they said. So I think Garland, you can give a check. He's going to be out there. But then we have 2 new ones. DeAndre Hunter dislocated a finger whenever he got, guys. It kind of was a foul on the bottom when I think it was Ben Mathurin who's just like annihilated him when he tried to go for that dunk. But that play was too cool to call a foul on. So I understand, even when they went to replay, the referee said this play's too awesome to call a foul on it. So I give it to him. But DeAndre Hunter did get hurt on that, and then Mobley landed on Miles Turner's foot, and he's got an ankle injury, I believe it is, that he's nursing. So as a Cavaliers fan, I do feel a little embarrassed with what Kenny Atkinson said. He said that they were playing too physical, and that's why these guys are injured. He didn't want to put blame on the Pacers, but he kind of put blame on the refs for not calling a lot of fouls. But sorry, Kenny Atkinson, it's the playoffs. The guys are going to get banged up. They're going this playoff fouls. So I didn't like to hear that from him. So hopefully it's not enough for Hunter and Mobley to be out, but those are pretty significant injuries if they do sit. On the Pacers side of things, I told you guys about playoff Nimhard when the playoffs started. A lot of people laughed at me. He has actually only gone under his points just one time since then, and he had a great game against the Cavaliers. Pacers shot an extremely high percentage, and they made a lot of tough shots. Law of averages would say that that's going to come down. They're going to come back to earth a little bit. I personally don't hate Tyrese Halliburton assist. I don't know Kenny Atkinson's type of adjustments, if he's going to be able to make that adjustment, but his assist is at 9.5 still. It didn't move, so I don't hate Tyrese Halliburton on his assists. So that would be something I would look out for. And then guys like Andrew Nimhard, if their lines stay low, he's just great in the playoffs. So that's just kind of a breakdown of that game. I did say the Cavaliers, the people need to stop talking about Cavaliers and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, because the Cavaliers have to face the Pacers, and they are a formidable opponent, and what we saw there in game one. The Cavaliers did shoot very poorly. I don't see that happening again. So a lot of averages would say that they're going to shoot a lot better and make those open shots. So I think we're going to have a really competitive game. 9.5 point spread's kind of crazy to me. I guess they're expecting the Cavaliers just with Garland out there just to be a completely different team. But I'll be honest with you, they're not as good defensively. And the Pacers scored a ton of points on the better defensive lineups that the Cavaliers have. So will be an interesting game too. So before I get into this next game, if you guys could please like the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. If you have a little bit of extra time, could you leave a comment for the algorithm? You can just put a number that helps get this video out there, or you can just put a W for a win. Trying to get a win here, make some money. Or you just put green. We're trying to get some green here. Then if you want to get away from Prizepicks, try out some other apps with more options, dynamic payouts. Check out Underdog Fantasy, Sleeper, ParlayPlay, ChalkBoard, or Better. Underdog is matching your first deposit up to $1,000. The rest are doing it up to $100. Links are in the description. That'll take you there. Promo code is fine around 11 to get those matches. All right, so Warriors at the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been sitting for a little bit, but the Warriors just went to 7 games with the Rockets. They were able to scrape out a win there in Game 7. The Rockets, they're just a young team, and they just couldn't quite figure it out against a team with a lot of veterans to just win one game. That game was just a couple of days ago. They're not going to get much rest. So I do expect the Timberwolves to play well here. I know they say teams are rusty. Cavaliers did look rusty, but the Warriors just went through a dogfight defensively against the Rockets, and now the Timberwolves are very solid defensively as well. So I expect a lot of missed shots to come from the Warriors end. I do expect them to still, put up a fight. But this parlay is on Fanduel for -105. I got Anthony Edwards over 6 rebounds. So actually 6+ rebounds. I'll put the numbers up here. You'll see the Lakers series. He went over in every single game in the Lakers series. This original line is at 6.5. I don't mind the original line, but I'm just bumping it down by 1. So like I said, every game in the Lakers series, his rebounds kept going up. It's in the playoffs, more shots are missed, defensive intensity goes up, more rebound chances happen. So I checked that series, he was averaging around 13 rebound chances, and then on the regular season he was averaging around 9 to 9.5. So bumping about 4 extra rebounds for a guy that averages 5.5 rebounds on the year. You're giving him 4 extra chances, so you're looking at 1 or 2 extra rebounds, and he was converting them at a high rate. So with the Warriors team being tired, like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of chances here against the Warriors this season. He went over in the last 2 games that they played each other. That is showing in the data with Anthony Edwards. So just bumping this down by 1, and then I'm going to add on Naz Reid 8+ points. So the Rockets were very successful for a couple of games with the 2 big lineup with Steven Adams and Alfred Sengun. Now, unfortunately, they're going to have to face a team that has some very good bigs. So Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid are all solid, 4s and 5s. When you look at Naz Reid against the Warriors this season, he went over in 4 out of 4 games, and then even last season he went over in 3 out of 3. And you see those last 2 games that he played, he had some really good scoring games against them. So his original line's at 9.5. So I'm just bumping this down to 7.5 because he did actually go under in 2 games for the regular line, 9.5 in 2 games in that Lakers series. But if you bump it down to 8+ points, then he goes over in 4 out of 5 games. That very last game, Rudy Gobert was he played a lot more minutes at that center position, and they just kept feeding Rudy Gobert, and he had a huge game. So Naz Reid didn't really need to take many shots that game, but I think he's going to get back into the mix here and the rotation, get his shots up. So both of those is -105. And then speaking of Naz Reid, Just searching through lines and stuff. When you look at Naj Reid, you gotta look at his 3-pointers. It's at 1.5, and it's actually plus 100 for him to make 2 3-pointers. So I actually feel like that's not a bad bet for even money. That's just a random one that I was, keep just looking around, and I found. So if you guys would like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. You can hop on in there, talk about lines all day long, about baseball, basketball, WNBA is coming up, all that good stuff. NHL. Is NHL in the playoffs yet? I think they're getting pretty close. Then as far as a recap goes, 2 different parlays for the Cavaliers game. Stuck with the home team. Strus 2 threes, and then Ty Jerome 10 points. That hit very easily. Strus hit his 3 early in the third quarter, and it wasn't much of a sweat. The next one was kind of a sweat. It was a Sengun for 4+ assist. He got that assist very late in the game thanks to Dylan Brooks, even though I've had hated on Dylan Brooks just in a funny way for a lot of time on YouTube. Thank you, Dylan, for knocking that shot down. And then Jalen Green for 4+ rebounds. He was able to get 4 exactly. So those were 4 exactly, but it was able to get done, and it was near even money. So I'm glad both of those were able to hit. So I'm going to get this edited and get it out to you. God bless you all. It's the final round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.